I'm in Kiran Amegadjie. We're going to talk about what this could mean, how this could help strengthen the Chicago Bears offensive line, all that and more right after this.
Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. The Chicago Bears have officially activated Kiran Amegadjie from the physically unable to perform list. Now, this is a really good sign for Kiran Amegadjie, who is a very talented rookie that the Bears have some really good promise in. Kiran Amegadjie is one of the more untapped potential players that the Chicago Bears have on their roster. When they drafted him, they understood that he was going to be a project, maybe a little bit of a while to turn around and actually be kind of a realized potential on the team. They got him in the third round. This guy's a tackle who can play some guard as well. He went to Yale. He's been working his way back from a quad injury basically since the Chicago Bears drafted him. Them activating him is a really good thing. When you look at the fact that the Bears adding depth on that offensive line, the fact that the Bears play their preseason finale Thursday, we don't know if he's going to get in there and get on the field or not. But regardless of that, yes, while the starting offensive line is set, make no mistake about it, that Kiran Amegadjie does have the upside of eventually being a starting level offensive tackle for the Chicago Bears team. And especially with Braxton Jones, Darnell Wright locked in, Kiran Amegadjie eventually is going to, move into being a depth piece, maybe even a starter eventually at some point for the Chicago Bears. This is a really good thing. You want everybody as healthy as possible heading into the season. And so with Kiran Amegadjie, it's a really straightforward thing with Kiran. He's going to ramp up over the next couple of weeks. He's going to really get into shape. They're going to develop him, kind of focus on some things. We'll see what happens. He probably will not play a whole lot this season. We'll see. If he does, it just means he's ahead of schedule. We know that Austin Booker was reported as being really raw. He's well ahead of schedule. But when it comes down to it, he's going to be eventually start competing for a starting job. And this is more something to look down the road. And you may not hear Kiran Amegadjie's name very much this season. You probably won't. But as he gets acclimated, as this offensive line coaching staff gets to him, as the trainers get to him, and they build up some of that stamina, build up that muscle, and build up his skill level, this is a guy that is going to eventually compete for a starting positions for the Chicago Bears. That just is what it is. And so, really like this when it comes down to it. Kiran Amegadjie, somebody who wanted to play here for the Chicago Bears. He had said he was going to play here, and he's here. And so now now that he's cleared, he's activated. Now he can just focus on increasing, ramping up like he's asked to, increasing the skill level and getting ready to compete for this team. Like I said, it may not be a lot this year. I want to set that expectation. You may not see Kiran Amegadjie suit up in a actual game for the Bears this season. There's a small chance of that. Small chance, right? Maybe towards the end of the season, maybe something by that. But this was always a down the road pick for the Chicago Bears. This was always one of those picks where the Bears are going to develop him, and you may not hear his name a lot his rookie year, but you're going to hear that name, and they're going to be giving him an opportunity to really show what he can develop and what he can be for this Bears team, and what kind of, the uncertainty on that offensive line. Keep in mind, we don't know what the future is going to hold for Tevin Jenkins. We don't know what the future is going to hold for Braxton Jones when his contract is eventually up. And because of Kiran's ability to play tackle or guard, it's going to, if any other spots do open up, it's going to open up more things for him as well. And Nate Davis as well down the road, things like that. So keep an ear out for Kiran Amegadjie. I really like this kid. I like his motor. That's a really good thing. And I like the raw skill that he has. And we'll see what happens to him. You got Crimson in the building, says the Bears activated their future starting left tackle. Very well could be, brother. It very well could be that he is the future starting left tackle. And, I'm not going to put that expectation on him quite yet, right? I want to be realistic in it, but that is what the Bears are hoping for. The Bears aren't hoping that this guy's just going to be a depth piece. The Bears aren't hoping when you draft a tackle in the left in the third round, you're not hoping that he's just going to be a depth piece. You're not hoping that he's just going to be a guy who can play some snaps for you. You're really hoping that he's going to be able to make an impact for you. So Crimson also, he'll be starting by the end of the season. I don't know about that. I don't know, but we'll see. Man grew up with Bears fans, walked up to Flus and told him to draft 2024. Bears actually draft him. What a dream come true. Completely agree with you there, bro. No, he's not Lonzo Ball status. No, he's cleared. He's fully cleared and ready to go. But there's a ramp up period. Lonzo Ball isn't cleared for actual NBA competition. It's not even. It's not even close to Lonzo Ball's situation. Shay. Rob says depth is good this year. Yeah, him being a depth piece this year is a good first step for a guy who came in with a major quad injury, and who's raw. I'm not mad if he's if he. Matter of fact, I'll say this: if he does work himself up to being a depth piece, this that's actually a really good step in the right direction for him if he does. So we'll see what happens with that one. Shout out to my Matty Legend in the building. Shout out to Steely E in the building, the OGs in the chat. Um, but yeah, really like this. Really like this. This is a red shirt year from. That's a really good way to look at it. Be real. Um, Bears will be able to withstand injury hopefully this year. Hopefully, like that is one of the things that Ryan Poles did well with this offensive line. I know some people are like, well, you should have invested more, you should have spent more, and I'm not going to dispute that. But at least you got in guys who can all play multiple positions. Jake Curran, Matt Pryor, Ryan Bates, Coleman Shelton, all these guys can play multiple positions. Kiran Amegadjie can play multiple positions. So, you've added some versatility in that as well. Daniel Trump says, I complained about him earlier, but if he's back, then I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, listen, they drafted him knowing he had an injury. So this isn't anything that surprises them. They knew he had an injury. So I don't know if you paid attention to what I've been saying in your chat when it comes to the Bears, but I believe our defense should dictate our offense. I won't say dictate, but this defense will make it easier on the offense. This is a playoff caliber defense. And we'll see how far the offense comes along. It's a little bit behind the defense, but the defense of the Chicago Bears is legit. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. But yeah, so really like this news. Like Kiran Amegadjie and what he potentially can bring on paper, but much like I've said with other Bears young players, like at some point the potential is great, but you got to see the realization of that potential, and hopefully we see that in Kiran Amegadjie. Hopefully we see that eventually where Kiran is out there playing on this field for the Chicago Bears and he's giving it his all and really helping up the status of that offensive line. That's what we want to see overall. Roger Jones in the building says, what it do, Bears Nation? Shout out to you, Roger. Shout out to everybody for coming through on this unexpected later night. Won't say late night because we've gone live a lot later, like the Shane Waldron news. You know what? We don't get enough credit for us being the first YouTube channel to break the Shane Waldron news. We don't get it. And I only got that news because of the little bit of inside knowledge that I have with the Chicago Bears. You can go and check it. Check the receipts. We had the news before ESPN. We had the news before any other Bears YouTube channel. We had the news before Fox. We had the news before everyone. I dropped that video at probably like midnight Chicago time. It was a good 3 hours before anybody else dropped the news on that happening. We don't get enough credit for that, but it is what it is. We the little guys, we the grassroots content creators. It is what it is. But y'all gonna put some respect on our name this season. That's for damn sure. But as you guys can see, was in the middle of a Sky live stream because the Sky game is going on right now. That's why I'm not in my usual Bears gear when talking about the Chicago Bears, but wanted to bring this news to you. Kiran Amegadjie officially activated off the physically unable to perform list. This means that he now can ramp up. He's going to be training. He's going to be out there in pads during practice. Don't know. I put the expectation on it not to see him necessarily in a Bears game anytime soon, but if you do see him by the end of the season, I don't think that would be a bad thing. Bears team captain should go up to Poles and say, if we win the North, he got to get them white unis next year. Hey, I mean, I don't know how much control Poles has over there, but I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Do you think we would get another edge? I don't know, Roger. Like, I thought so for a while, but when you look at the way that Austin Booker and Daniel Hardy have performed, I don't know if they need to. They may be willing to take a gamble and start the season, seeing what they have, and then maybe make a move in the middle of the season. Maybe. I mean, we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if they do get a veteran. I think that maybe Unique ends up being that veteran if they just sign somebody now. But I think they may give it a go and see how ready these young guys really are before they do something like that. At least in my personal opinion, I very well could be wrong on that one. Shout out to you, Matty Legend. Glad to have you in the building. Max 12 wins if healthy and Caleb is good, and minimum 7 if the injuries happen and Caleb in offense is iffy as year progress. I mean, we'll see, bro. We'll see. I don't really do too many predictions. I'll say this: a minimum of 7 to me, just off the top of my head, is low. Considering we had won 7 games last year, we're starting off with Montez Sweat. We have way more off weapons offensively. Yes, the offensive line, and we have a questionable offensive line. We're still trying to see how consistent they're going to be, and a rookie quarterback. But then you also got to give that we got a competent offensive coordinator in there now too. I think a minimum of 7 is actually too low. I honestly think that this team could win anywhere between 8 and 12 games. 8, 9, somewhere in that area, and 12 games, 12, 13 games. I think they could win, but we'll see, man. But I love you guys, man. Make sure you guys are following the channel at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related, thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys.